Hello everyone, welcome back to Shonky Lab. I'm Elton, and this week I'm joined by guest producer, Mr. Lee Harvey.
Hello.
How are you, mate? You alright?
Not too bad. Okay, how are you?
I'm good. I'm stuffed. I'm still eating my food from Christmas. We got fucking shitloads, man.
Yeah?
Still got mince pies in the house.
Yeah, but they'll last for like a year.
Will they?
For months and months. They won't. They can't die.
Will they last until November, so I can eat them in November?
I'm going to say yes.
Like a warm-up to next Christmas.
But then there'll be loads available in the shops in November anyway, so it doesn't matter.
That's true, yeah.
Eat them now.
Oh, yeah. I just got to stop eating, man. Honestly, I feel, once again, I've been grazing for maybe a month of stuff. And, it's not good. I need to do some star jumps or something.
Do you know what you could do with?
What?
Some scones.
What?
Some scones.
Actually, oh, God. We're not going down that again. We're not doing that again.
Okay.
Well, I'm clearly not anyway, crying out loud.
Right.
So we're going to be talking about board games today. Now, there's no set agenda. I have nothing in front of me apart from an internet tab open on board games and images. And I think I'm just going to pick them through there. Because I've got a good relationship with board games. I don't know about you.
Very good, yeah.
Yeah? Because were you brought up on board games? Because I remember way back in the day when I was a wee nipper, before electronic games and pocket telephones were ever invented, I used to play board games quite a lot.
Yeah, I used to have loads. I played a lot of war games, so with miniatures and things, and still do. But there was a lot of them made into board games, things like Hero Quest and Space Crusade and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then the usual ones like Monopoly and Game of Life and all that stuff. Yeah, always played games.
Yeah, and
always. We
used to do it on like a Sunday. There was a thing in our house. We would crack out a board game on a Sunday, sit round the dining room table after dinner is cleared away, turn the TV off, put the countdown on so we could listen to the countdown of the charts, and play board games like Cluedo and Monopoly and other ones that we had. So,
cool.
I don't know if anyone else does that anymore. I suppose it's iPads now, isn't it? All the kids are just, it's an iPad, I'm going to play on that instead. And who can blame them? If I was their age and had an iPad, I'd probably be doing that as well.
I don't, maybe with kids, certainly. But loads more adults play board games these days.
Mm.
I mean, I'm actually involved with a board game club. In Southampton, there's a board game cafe. So it's just like a normal cafe with, food and drinks and whatever. But the shelves and the walls are packed full of different board games. And you pay £3 to go in, and just go and pick a game off the shelf and play whatever you want. And they're all the latest ones, not just the traditional old ones like you'll see Jenga or something like that in a pub.
Yeah,
these are proper, current release board games. Anything from the short little card games right up to the huge, complicated, massive board games, proper board games.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a go at that, actually. Just rocking up and playing like a 6-hour game. I think I'd love that.
Yeah, you can do that. It's great.
That's one thing I've got to do then. Because I've played the long games. Everyone's played Monopoly, haven't they?
Yeah.
Should we start there with Monopoly?
Yeah, okay.
Because it's an easy one to get into, and there's lots of stories about playing Monopoly. I have a love-hate relationship with Monopoly.
In what way?
Well, I love playing Monopoly a week after I've played Monopoly, and maybe the hour building up to playing Monopoly. What do you mean,
like you're sort of lying awake a week later thinking, oh God, if only I'd bought Trafalgar Square, I could have...
No, I don't even, I hardly get the chance to build anything. I'm utter guff at it. I'd like to get loads of friends and play that because I am terrible, and I guarantee you I spend half my turn in jail. And it's just through sheer luck of landing on go to jail. I think the last time we played it, I just got out of jail, and then you go to a chance and pulled out, go directly to jail again. And it's just so fucking frustrating. And there's my kids just lapping out, and oh look, I'm collecting all this money, I'm collecting all that money, because there's certain other rules with it as well that some people do play and some people don't play. Like
the free parking.
Yeah.
So the money goes in the middle, all the fines, everything goes in the middle, and if you land on free parking, you get that, right?
Yeah, I didn't know this until about a year ago.
This is what I don't understand about Monopoly. So many people say that they played it at Christmas, or not this Christmas, but just generally, or with family or whatever, and they always have arguments. How can you have arguments? You've got a book with the rules in it. There it is. It says do this. I don't understand. And like you say, well, I've only just found that out recently.
That's because it's been passed down to me. And this is how you play Monopoly. We all just sit on free parking going, okay, well, I'm not going to pay any bills here. Excellent. And nobody reads the rules. It's just word of mouth. And you naturally know how to play Monopoly because everyone's played it around you.
Yeah.
There's also, one thing I learned this year, you can bid when people don't want to buy a square. You can bid on them squares.
Yeah, I learned that, but again, never played it.
No, I've never done that. Never done it. And it was only after our monthly game of it seems, around here, that I learned that. So next time out, I'm going to be like, I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to bid on this thing. And you can bid from jail?
Yeah? Oh, wow.
I'm sure you can.
Well, you've been doing it, obviously.
Well, I need something from jail, crying out loud.
Yeah, of course you have to be able to bid from there, because that's where you always are, isn't it? Stuck in jail. Do you think it's a dad thing? Do you think as soon as you've got kids that something in the universe shifts and chance will mean that you'll always go to jail if that chance is available?
I don't know, because my dad was awesome at Monopoly, and it was really frustrating. And he'd wipe the floor and clear up, and it would just be either my dad and my mum left, or me and my dad left, and it would just watch him just creaming all my money away, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll turn that mortgage that one, and he'd be like, thank you very much. And then there come that time where I just get so pissed off, be like, no, do you know what? That's it, you've won. Ta-da.
Because it's a long game. And there comes a point when you can see who's going to win, but you just got to sit there and slug it out, knowing full well that you're going to lose.
Yeah.
And keep going around the board, landing on the things, and while that winning person just collects a larger and larger stash of cash.
Yeah. My son is really good at it.
Yeah.
And he knows he's really good at it. And I know he's really good at it, and I want to flip the table every time he's really good at it.
Isn't it just luck, though, depending on when you land on the things? Or is there a skill at knowing which ones to buy when and things like that?
I think it's a case of what you buy.
Yeah.
And when. If you're going for a row of colours, you need to have the luck to land on them.
Yeah.
But also, you need to know what you want going straight into it.
Because I am absolutely terrible at Monopoly.
Right, I'm playing you then.
But it's my own fault. Because being a South Londoner, I'll insist on getting the Old Kent Road. Because it's the only one south of the river.
Right. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's the only square south of the river. All the rest of them are north or central London or wherever.
Right.
But so I'll just keep going around until I've got it, and then I'll start playing properly.
Oh man, yeah.
So if somebody picks it up first when I'm playing, it's like, well, that's that finished then.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a Shonky Lab not episode, but maybe just a gathering of people, and play Monopoly in a pub somewhere.
Yeah.
Take over a massive table and, right, okay, here we go. Thank you very much.
Yeah. What were the pieces? There was I remember there was a car.
A dog, a top hat.
Yeah.
Oh, what else was it?
Because Danny Baker always says everyone in the whole universe that's ever played Monopoly has at some time tried on the top hat. Has put it on their head. You have, haven't you?
No.
Yes, you have.
No, why would I do that?
An iron, Jack Woodgate says.
Yeah, an iron, yeah. Oh, hang on, here we go. Car, boat, hat, iron, Scotty dog. That's from Pieman 70. What one would you normally choose, though?
I think I like the hat. The hat or the car?
Right, because there's Monopoly Empire. Have you played that?
No.
Okay, Monopoly Empire is you just trying to grab billboards of very popular products throughout the world. Like McDonald's and Mattel and Fender, Xbox, Panasonic, etc. And you have a little slate in the middle that you have to fill up with your billboards as you go around and collecting them. It's like grabbing the roads, but they are billboards. And the first one to the top of your slate is the winner. But there's lots of ways of bidding on them, and it's a nice interpretation of the game. It's just different enough, but also just familiar enough so you can just jump straight into it.
Right. I mean, if you're like a real dyed-in-the-wool socialist, Monopoly's not a very good game, is it? It's just all about money and advertising and consumerism.
Yeah,
it's not teaching a good message. Not great. Really. Did you ever have any of the specialist ones?
Hang on a minute. Hang on. Where? There we go.
Should somebody be saying albatross now?
Yeah, someone should be saying albatross at the moment. Yeah, I think there's something wrong with the computer that's streaming it out to the Mixler people. Sorry about that, guys.
Of course you get bloody wafers with it.
Yeah, that's right.
Carry on.
It'll probably go again. We had this problem a couple of recordings back. I don't know what's going on. I think I need a new computer. It's going again. Flip it around, man. Hang on a sec.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Shut your face.
You're listening to Man Plays with Technology.
That's all they're getting is just a clicking sound as I'm mucking around with a wire. Right, it's all back on. Sorry about that, Mixler people. If you do want to listen to me fart around with technology when you're not downloading this, why not pop along to mixler.com/road2media and you can hear me crash and burn. It's absolutely fine and normally works really rather well. But for some reason, the computer I'm using to send it to Mixler has thrown a fit of some description. So fingers crossed that'll be all right from now on. It's on a 20-degree bank now with its power box holding the wire in. Oh Jesus, it's scary.
Is there going to be a just random massive crash followed by half a swear word and then silence?
Well, possibly, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to have to take a photo of this. Actually, hang on. This would just be. I'll put this up in the Facebook group that we have. Right. Then you can see.
You know what you need?
Go on.
Duct tape.
Duct tape would work
just
really
duct
well.
Tape everywhere.
Hang on. Right. That's. Yeah. There we go. Right. I've taken a photo of it. I'll drop that on there later. So, right, board games. Let's get back to board games.
Specialist monopolies. So, like, you'd have one for different. Well, there were different cities all over the world, weren't there? What was the first one? Atlanta, in America.
I don't know.
The original Monopoly was Atlanta, in America.
Oh, was it?
Because Yeah, because I always thought for years it was London. That was it. It just had London. There was nothing else. But no, it was American.
I've got a what is it? A Australian board game, the Australian Monopoly. But
Okay.
it's still got Streets of London in it, but it's all in dollars, like Australian dollars.
Oh, that's weird.
It's quite cool though.
Yeah.
But it's from the 70s, I suppose. It was my dad's old one.
But you can get them for everywhere now, and of course, you like Star Wars ones.
Yeah.
There's probably a Walking Dead one. There's a Walking Dead of everything.
Yeah. There's going to be a Game of Thrones one.
Yeah. Well, there definitely will be. Do you know what else does everything?
What's that?
Risk.
Risk, how I love you and hate you at the same time.
At least that has a little bit more to it in terms of you get to make a decision about what you're doing. You know, different ways to play the game. It's not just a chance of going around the board and hoping you're landing on the right things. You have a bit of control over what you're doing. Yeah,
have you played that a lot then?
Risk?
Yeah.
I haven't played it for a while, but I used to play it quite a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I've only ever played it once. And
so how do you know that you love it and hate it?
Because I was, once again, as you're playing it, I had Australia, and I've heard the key to the game is having Australia. And
that's right.
Somehow I ended up with Australia. And I had, because as you progress across the board, you're supposed to put all the most men at the tip of your arrow point, aren't you? To stop people from breaking in. Because once they're through, then they can take all your other men.
Yeah.
And I neglected that a little bit. And once that tip was broken, I fell and I was out of the game.
Well, it's because everywhere else on the board, there's multiple different ways that you can move into that area.
Right.
Except for Australia, there's nothing behind you. So if you get that and just build up and move outwards, you sort of steamroller the whole world without anyone being able to get behind you. Whereas everywhere else, you got to try and sort of fight on 2 or 3 fronts at once. That's the theory.
Yeah.
But as you proved, you still need to know what you're doing to a point to be able to win at it.
If you put a cat in a car, it doesn't mean it can drive that car.
Exactly.
But the hour that I played it, because it can go on for.
It took an hour for you to lose.
Yeah, it was around about an hour because it can go on for hours, can't it?
Does that include putting the pieces out and putting them back in the box as well?
Yeah, it probably was. Yeah, and working out the rules in my own head, and everyone was going easy. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. But once the moment came when it was, okay, right, we're fed up with that. Let's destroy him. Take him out completely. Watch this. It was a case of hold my beer. And someone just steamrolled me. And I was, you've beaten that. Oh, I can see where this is going now.
And then, I bet you thought you were doing really well at the time. Because I always do this with all sorts of games. You think, this is going well. I'm doing all right. And then someone will just go play some cards and just go, da-da-da, bish bash boss. And you're completely decimated.
Yeah. One foul swoop and you're left with your head spinning a little bit. Hang on, I was doing really well and now I'm gone.
God Empire in Flames, yeah.
So you can get any sort of Risk game, is that right?
Pretty much. Game of Thrones, The Walking Dead, the usual ones.
Yeah.
But there's Doctor Who I've seen. The one where all the pieces are little Daleks. Yeah. It's still fundamentally the same game.
Yeah. Martin Thompson in the chat room said he's never played it. You really need to. See, we're going to have. Next time I'm down in London, I'm just taking a satchel full of. It's going to be like the last day of school again, where I've got board games coming out my ear holes.
Pieman mentions Risk's evil twin, Diplomacy. Have you heard of Diplomacy?
No,
or
I
played it?
haven't. No. Oh, there's an Amazon link. Oh, God, I'm going to buy something, aren't I?
Diplomacy. Now, I'm a nice guy. I'm quite naive. I trust people. So I'm absolutely terrible at diplomacy. What it is, it's based on World War One. So you have the map of Europe.
Yep.
And you each get given, I think it's like 2 armies and a fleet, something like that. And you have your, somebody's Britain and someone's France and Germany and Russia and whatever else.
Yeah.
But there's no dice rolls. There's nothing like that involved. You all have a set amount of time where you can talk to each other in the open or in private, go and have a word on the other side of the room or whatever. And you come up with alliances and plans and say, well, I'm going to do this if you do that. And how you win is people support each other to invade different areas.
Oh, really?
And you don't actually lose your pieces. They just get pushed back.
Yeah.
So it's like if 2 armies are going into one place, one army's going to one place supported by another, and there's only one defending, that defender gets pushed back. So you got to outnumber the other side, but you only have like 3 pieces really that you start the game with yourself. So it's all about diplomacy, about talking to each other.
Okay.
But here's the bit why I do terrible. All of the moves that everyone's going to make, you write down, and it's all done in secret, and all of the moves are revealed at the same time. So you don't know if the person you've said, I'm going to move into here, will you support me with your army? You don't know if they're actually going to do that until everything's revealed.
Oh, okay.
Because they could have been talking to someone else, they could have been talking to the guy you wanted to attack, and maybe they're supporting them instead, and you don't know how it's going to work until everything's revealed at once.
So you can really stitch up the person you've just formed an alliance with.
Yes.
Oh, right.
And that is why I'm rubbish, because I could keep being nice and going, okay, yeah, we'll do this. I want it to be good. And then everyone bashes me straight away.
Okay, add to basket. That is going on. I'm going to be buying that.
Diplomacy is absolutely fantastic, but also a bastard. Only if you're playing with bastards, actually.
Yeah, I've just put that in my basket, in my Amazon basket, because Pieman70 put a link on there. God damn it, Pieman, you've already cost me money. And it's come up with people also shop for Risk Europe, Risk Continental game, and Axis and Allies.
Right, I've got Axis and Allies. I can see it from where I'm sat right now.
It's supposed to be well expensive, though, isn't it?
I think I paid 50 quid for mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What are the 120 quid ones?
Is that like an original?
Oh, maybe.
Maybe. It's been around for a very long time.
Yeah, you can buy different years as well on Axis and Allies. So what's the main thrust of that game then? Because it's intriguing. I like all the World War stuff that you can get with this.
Well, the version I've got is the whole world, because you can get ones for the Pacific, ones for Europe and North Africa, things like that. I've got the one that's everywhere. And it's for up to 5 players. So somebody's American, someone's Britain, Germany, Russia and Japan.
Yep.
And you play out the war, basically.
Really?
And you can there's loads of different units. So there's artillery, infantry, tanks, I think, battleships, submarines, bombers, fighters, and they all have different things that they can do. And you can build factories and you can research things. There's a lot to it, and it's the longest game to play. It takes forever.
Does it?
Yeah, it takes a long. You have to be able to leave it set up somewhere. I think it's not a game to have if you have cats.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's great, but it's big.
There is something about setting up a board game and coming back to it the next day, all refreshed. I like it. Most of the times when we're playing Monopoly, we will set it up, have maybe an hour or two of playing it, and once you can see the kids getting tired, and my phone fucking ringing. Jesus Christ. I think I've just answered it, and now I've hung up on that person. Never mind.
You've just answered it, screamed Jesus Christ down the phone, and hung up.
Yeah, I think it may be my mother-in-law.
No problem then.
Oh dear. We've played it at board games and left them up, and sometimes coming back, you're either straight back in it, or you need a couple of goes to get back in that. Yeah. And I like that.
Well, I play a game that I've been playing for most of my life called Blood Bowl. Now, it's a Games Workshop one, the company that does all the war games and the miniatures and things.
Yeah.
But it has a board, which represents the pitch. And it's a game of American football in a fantasy setting with orcs and elves and dwarves and whatever else.
Is this like Speedball?
Yeah, similar, but more Lord of the Rings rather than futuristic.
Okay.
Yeah. But what made me think of that is you saying about setting them up. Well, I play in lots of tournaments, and you've had to play 6 games over 2 days. And quite often, by game 3, you're like, oh, God, what? I've got to play again? This is ridiculous, especially if you're losing.
6 games?
They last about 2.5 hours each one.
That's cool, though. I like the idea of it.
Yeah, over 2 days, 6 games. But if you're not winning, if you're doing badly, you're like, oh, can't I just go home? Can't I just stay in the pub?
Yeah, I don't know if I could do tournaments or anything like that, though. That's the thing. I think I'd struggle with that. I'd rather play people I know.
Yeah. I've been playing so long now that I tend to know who I'm playing against because the same people go onto the same tournaments.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I've always fancied going into a park and just playing chess against a stranger, though.
Do they still have the chessboards around in parks? Could you see it on films in New York?
Yeah, it's like Central Park. It's what people do, isn't it?
Yeah, it's made out of trees and chessboards.
Yeah, I'd love to just give that a go. Either checkers or chess. I seem to have always known how to play chess.
Yeah. Are you, because there's 2 types of people, aren't there? The people who know how to play chess.
Yeah.
And then the people who know how the pieces in chess move. It's not the same thing.
No, it's not, no.
Because I am definitely a person who knows how the pieces work, but don't know how to play chess.
I'd say, because I learned at quite a young age. I suppose I knew how the pieces moved by 8 or 10, I think it was.
Right.
And I enjoyed it. I really did. And I played a lot. I suppose not a lot with my dad, but he's the one who taught me how to play it. He's the one who taught me how the pieces move.
Right.
Oh, hang on. We're losing each other again. Hang on a sec.
Quick, bash it with the hammer.
I'm going to have to bash it again.
Jack says, get one of your kids to hold on to it. What else are they going to do?
Jesus. I think it's working now.
That's why you have kids, isn't it?
Yeah, to hold.
To hold things for you and to give you an excuse to go into toy shops.
Yes. I've been into Toys R Us, and there's a board game aisle, and most of it is full of utter guff and crap. I'll get onto that in a minute. What were we talking about before it all went wonky again?
Chess and you playing when you were little.
Oh, yeah. My dad taught me as I was quite a young nipper, so I knew how the pieces worked. And then when I was at school, we did have a chess club. I was one of them kids that in the first and second year there was a chess club, and it was where I learnt how to win in 7 moves. I think it is. You can win in 6 or 7 moves.
No, I don't believe you.
Oh, are you joking?
No, you can't win in 7 moves. You have to make about 400 moves, and both of you end up with 1 piece each.
No.
that's chess.
I know, but there is you can do it within like 7. I'm sure it's 6 or 7 moves, and you can have checkmate. And that chess club is where I learned how to do that. And
you must have been really popular.
Oh, it was so annoying because everyone knew the moves, and so as soon as you saw the first 2 or 3 moves, you were, hang on a minute.
But surely if there's a way to counter that, so if they knew it, they could do something against that.
Yeah, you just move a different piece.
Yeah.
So that's not a problem. But if someone was trying that on, then you knew exactly where this game was going straight away. And you had to expose yourself. So it is frustrating. No, not that. No. Doreen said that she's heard the thing about winning in 7 moves.
Right. All you clever people.
See, if Doreen says it is a fact.
It must be true.
But so you just know how the pieces move. You don't know how to play chess.
No, I mean, I know what the winning conditions. I know what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
But in terms of all the strategies and no idea.
Right. So if me and you played, I'd win.
In 7 moves.
I'd have to learn that again, though. That's the only problem.
But I could get out of it, but I wouldn't know I'd got out of it because I wouldn't know that that's what you were doing.
Right.
I'd have just randomly moved something which got me out of losing in 7 moves.
You'd see my smiley face turn upside down and be like, you bastard, you saw it coming. No, I didn't. No, I just did something. Oh, okay. Your stupidity saved you. Well done.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I do love it, though. I can't play it too much because it can get frustrating. And when you're playing the same person again and again, and they either keep beating you or or they keep losing to you.
Yeah.
It gets very samey, and once again, like Monopoly, you want to flip the board. And sometimes you can see it coming from a mile off.
Yeah.
And that's the frustrating bit.
See, you need to forget all you've learned.
Yeah. Another game like that, checkers.
Yeah, simpler.
This is a thing. I always thought I was really good at checkers. When I met Amanda, she said she was really good at chess. I said I was really good at checkers. And so we set it up and we played chess. I stomped all over her. I was like, yeah, okay, now let's play the game I'm really good at. And played checkers and just got destroyed.
So you were both trying to lull each other into a false sense of security. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I can't play checkers now. I hate it. I really do, because I find it so frustrating. Because if you just leave all your 4 or 5 pieces at the very back, that's it. It's parking the bus. And you can't break that down. You need someone to step forward and really go and make a game of it. Otherwise, it can get very stagnant.
There are some games like that, though, aren't there, where it's just... I mean, I suppose Monopoly's like that in a way. You know, whoever ends up with Park Lane and Mayfair, you just keep hammering hotels on there, and that's it. You're done.
Yeah. Deacon Duck in the chat room says, "King me, Elton." Up yours.
So what other games did you want to talk about? I know you mentioned some in the green room.
Oh, what was it? Oh, okay. Well, I'm partial to a game of Othello.
I don't know that. I've never played it.
Oh, okay. Right. I'm going to have to try and find this for you then. Othello is a board. I can't remember how many squares it is by, but you start off with a 2 black counters and 2 white counters in the middle of the board. And the top left would be a black, top right would be white, and vice versa for the bottom row, right?
Yeah.
And your idea is to, let's say I'm the blacks, I have to put my black counters on the opposite side of your white counters to my black counters, and then I get your white counters, and then they turn over to black, because you can turn the counters over. They're like a white one side, black the other side. And the idea is to get more counters than the other person. And it's a game where you can look like you're winning, but really the other person is absolutely destroying you, and he's just waiting for that time to happen where all of a sudden one piece goes down, and then you get a whole row of that coloured piece, and then from there on you can take half the board. And I love it. And if you want to get good at that, just go for the corners. Just try and if you get a corner, then you've got that corner. You are not going to lose that corner. That's the good thing about it, because nobody can put a piece on the opposite side of your counter in the corner.
So is it kind of like a sort of freestyle checkers?
Kind of.
Just looking at it now.
Once you've placed a let's call it a token, once you place one of them down, it doesn't get removed from the board. It only ever gets flipped.
Right, okay.
So there are points where if you ended up with one corner as a white, and then the rest of that diagonal line down towards the opposite corner is black, if you manage to get a white corner in white tab in the opposite corner, you would get that whole diagonal line across the board. Once you've got that, then you can take other counters, because you've got a whole row in the middle of the board that you can flip up to. And you can sometimes lay a counter down, and you can take maybe 4, or even, if you're lucky, how many directions would it be? It would be 8 directions.
Yeah.
If you're really, really lucky.
Does it take a long time?
No, it doesn't. No, it can be done within 20 minutes.
Cool. I've never played it. No, I don't think I've even seen it before.
No, I know. It's really good. Really good.
Okay, well, put that in the bag.
Yeah.
When you cart all your board games down to London.
Another game that I bought Amanda this year was Go. And that's supposed to be older than chess.
Yeah, they test computers on that, don't they? You know, for artificial intelligence and things.
Yes.
See whether it can win at Go. Because there's something like there's more moves than chess.
I don't think there's infinite moves, but there are thousands upon thousands of different variations of this game.
Right.
And I'm still learning the rules, because I had a test game with my daughter.
Right.
And
did she know how to play?
Well, by the rules that we were doing, clearly the game's broken, because she beat me somehow.
Oh, right. Okay. This ancient Chinese game that's been going for like 1,000 years.
Yeah, it's broken. It's like broken. Well broken, and need a new one. And I think we were playing by roughly the rules. That this is a problem. There are a lot of the rules, and it's a case of trying to block in your opponent,
right, with
your counters. And what the thing with Go is there are different size boards as well. And if you get the bigger boards, and it's a more strategic game which can go on for hours. If you get the smaller boards, it's less strategic, and you can be in and out within an hour.
Okay.
So it's interested in that, guys, that you can find out your happy medium. I think there's 3 different size boards. So if you're only good at playing on the small board, then just go for that. Or if you want a long ass game, then go for the big board. But I'm still trying to learn the rules at the moment. But it just fascinated me, it being older than chess, and there's so many manipulations of the game that I wanted to get it in the house.
I was going to say, like, is it like chess where there's is there a way that you can win in 7 moves, or is it every single game's quite different and different things happen and you can play it a different way?
No, there's a lot of mind games in this.
Right.
There are lots of mind games in this. Bearing in mind, I've only played one game with my daughter and she beat me. But,
so you got beaten by your daughter at mind games?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yeah. She's a Jedi or something. I don't know.
No, you're absolutely right. She is amazing. It isn't that you're rubbish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I created genius. What are you on about?
Yeah, well done.
Yes.
Good work.
But I would recommend that once I learn how to play.
In a way, you won.
Yes. I like your thinking, and your thinking is good.
Yeah. So Go and Othello, they're coming down to London.
Yeah.
We're not going to have time for all these games.
No, you'll be all right.
Or can you be like one of those people who plays loads of games at the same time?
I'll be like a one-man band just walking into the pub.
So there'll be like lots of people. It'll probably be the Imperial.
Yep, most probably, yeah.
And we'll all be sat down one wall with a different game in front of us.
Yeah, we just turn it into games day.
And then you'll be playing everyone at that game, just going up and down, having your turn and go on to the next game.
Oh, I like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea of that.
And, losing every single game all the way up the pub.
Oh, as if I would. Another one that we were introduced to, I think last year or the year before, Rummy Cub.
I have played this.
It's not quite a board game, but I think it goes in the board game cupboard. So, as far as I'm concerned,
it's is it like Scrabble but with numbers?
Yes, but there's no board at all. You just have counters with numbers on them, and the way you win is by getting rid of all your counters. The only way you can win is your first move has to add up to 30. So all your counters, you need to get runs. It's like cards as well, where you can have a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but they have to be in a colour of all reds or all blues or all oranges or all yellows. I can't remember. The blacks as well is one of the colours. Or you can have a 13, a black 13, blue 13, a red 13, and a yellow 13. And you can drop that down onto the board as well, because you haven't got, they're not allowed to have the same colour. So you can't have 2 blue 13s in your go.
Right.
Does that make sense? It's like,
no, I have played it once.
Yeah.
It's just a while ago, and I don't remember much about it. I remember it being like you say, all the counters are in a bag, and you have to draw them out, similar to Scrabble with the letters. Yeah, and place it down.
And what you're trying to get rid of all your counters with the numbers on them, and the way you do that is by manipulating all the other counters that have been placed down in front of you. So you may have a run. You also get smiley faces as well, which is like this game's version, equivalent of a Joker. So you could have a little run already placed down on the table, which went 1, 2, 3, Joker, 5. So that Joker is sitting there playing as a 4. So, but if you've got your own 3 and 4, you can split that to 1, 2, 3. Push that to the side. That's a little group, and the groups can only be 3 or above. Then you can take that Joker off, put your 3 and 4 with the 5. So now you've made another little group, and now you've got Joker to place down with any of your other tabs that you want to place down.
Okay.
It's really good.
Cool. It sounds like Scrabble, but numbers.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at Scrabble.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think it'll probably be terrible at Rummy Cub as well.
No. It's Rummy Cub is if you don't even have to be good with numbers. If you're good with cards,
it's spotting those things that are in front of you, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
If you can't see them, you're just not going to be able to know what to play.
No, well, sometimes you can sit there and you can have 4 or 5 pieces. They could go down, but you need to work out the system on manipulating all the other tiles that are down already to get rid of what you've got. And you'll sit there going, okay, right, I can move that one there, put that one with that one, then I can place my one down. I'm still stuck with that one. Balls, can't do it. And if you do that, then you need to put the whole board back how it was before your go was there. And if you can't lay, then you pick up another tab from the bag.
When you don't want that.
No.
Because you're trying to get rid of them, aren't
you?
Yeah. It sounds hard.
Yeah. Scrabble, though, I'm, like you said, I'm not very good at that.
Scrabble can do one. I hate Scrabble. I hate it. But I used to live with a girl who was an English literature graduate. And so were all of her sisters. And they played nothing but Scrabble. And I think, what was my GCSE? Not good. So I wasn't very good at spotting the words, using the letters, seeing where to put them.
Right.
It's just an absolute nightmare. So I'd always lose, so I'd get annoyed with it.
Yeah, I'm not very good at spelling.
Yeah,
I never
exactly
have
the
been.
same. Yeah.
And it's not that I don't know words, I'm just not very good with words. You know, you can hear it every bloody episode that I put out, crying out loud.
Exactly the same.
Yeah. And I just not that way inclined. I can't do it. I would love to be able to really be good at Scrabble, but it just doesn't work for me. I'm a 4-letter word man.
The same. Yeah. And everyone you're playing with is putting down these 7-letter things, and you're like, if I put that there, that'll say is. Brilliant. 2 points.
Yeah. You're hoping for S's and EDs.
Yeah.
And so you can change other people's words to plurals.
Yeah. And if the word, because you get that little green plastic thing with all your letters on, and if there isn't a word spelt out on that as you put the tiles down, then you're not going to get one.
Yeah. You can either see it straight away, or it ain't coming at all. The last time we played, I had a word. I had 8-letter word.
Yeah.
And I was just sat there waiting for a space for me to put that 8-letter word. I didn't care if about anything else.
Yeah.
And I could see that space. And then Amanda went and put something stupid, which got a stupid amount of points.
Yeah.
And I was sat there in frustration going, I could have put that there.
Yeah.
And in the end, I end up turning mine over and go, right, guys, look, I've got this. I'm clearly losing. Can you guys help me out? And that's how a game of Scrabble goes for me.
Yeah, I'm the same. It's like I'm playing this game so that I get one really good word at some point in the game.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to keep up with everyone score wise. I just want to do a better word than the usual 4 letters that I use.
Yeah. You just want one of them glory words, don't you? Just to say, look, I got rid of them all, or I got rid of nearly all of them. That was my word that you're playing off.
But it's like you say, you're sat there with a word in front of you and there's nowhere to put it. So you just keep drawing new tiles out of the pack and stacking them up to the side. I don't want those. They'll come later. As long as I can get origami down.
I refuse not to put this word down.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a version of Scrabble where you could stack on top of other words?
Right. I remember... I've got a vague memory of seeing something like that, but I couldn't tell you what it's called. I'm sure someone will say.
Dorian, is that it?
Upwards.
Upwards. Okay, so is that the same as Scrabble? Chat room, you're going to have to help us out on this one.
Yeah,
is that the same as Scrabble, where you just put your words down, but then you can put your words on top of that to change letters in that? I don't know.
I mean, if that's how it works, surely you could cheat. If you're really quick at stacking the tiles, no one will know that. You could say, "I've just spelt house," and actually it's Hagusengent, because you've just put loads of like S's and X's and things underneath it. It's like, no, don't worry about it, because it just says H.
Well,
on the top.
there's a rule in Scrabble where if nobody realises what you've put down is utter guff, then you get to keep the points.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it in Spaced, the TV show, when she puts down Pro V? As in Pantene Pro V.
Oh, jeez. That's brilliant.
Oh, God, I hate Scrabble so much.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd like Upwards either. It looks awful. It looks awful as in the same way that Scrabble is awful. Terrifying.
I think I just like the way that it stacks on each other. I kind of like that.
So you just want to build things.
Yeah, really. It's like Jenga. Sometimes you just sit there building a house out of Jenga blocks because you can. Look, I'm building myself a little fort for my dinner.
Sat next to a big box of Lego.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to use these Jenga blocks.
Well, yeah, they're good barricades for Lego men to hide behind.
Exactly. You've just reminded me of something. I don't know if this counts as a board game, but do you remember? I can't remember what it was called. But you had these little plastic catapults, and the other side had these little plastic bricks that you built into walls and towers.
Oh my God, yes.
And you had to fling the little discs with the catapults to knock them down.
It does ring a bell.
Is it
it's
castles and catapults or something like that?
It's before health and safety became an issue, isn't it?
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
It had crossbows and catapults.
Oh, crossbows, yeah. Because there was one where...
Oh, God damn you, Jack Woodgate. Right, okay. I'm going to Amazon to check this out. By the way, we've got about 5 minutes before we break, so... crossbows.
Yeah, because there was a little crossbow. They all had elastic bands in them. And you had to fire these little discs. Oh, that was so good.
Can you still... Oh, I've just put crossbows in Amazon and I've got crossbows. Oh, Jesus Christ, I don't want to buy a crossbow. There we go, starter pack.
Can you still get it?
I don't know. It doesn't look like it. I don't know if someone can put a link up in the chat room for us that they can... Oh, no. Jack's put a Wikipedia thing. Because I need to be reminded of this. Crossbows and catapults, also known as Battlegrounds, is a game of physical skill released in 1983. It's since been published several places. Blah, 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 blah. What's the gameplay? The gameplay set two opposing game mats on opposite ends of a flat surface. Players place their towers over treasure graphic in the center of the mat and build the wall around their tower using 12 wall pieces. This is brilliant.
Yeah. Did you never play it?
No, I never played it. No, I remember it. I remember the adverts for it.
And you got the little guys with the shields and the swords, and you put them around, and you would fling. You either had a little crossbow,
right,
or a little catapult that had elastic bands around it, so that you could fling these little discs at your opponent's stuff and knock it down.
There are 4 different ways to win: knock over an enemy tower. 2, capture all the opponent's projectiles. Oh, that's just cheating, surely. 3, get 4 spies into the enemy courtyard. And 4, knock over the enemy tower or out of the way and land a projectile on the secret treasure beneath. So
it's a great game.
It's a board game where you get to throw shit around in your front room.
Yes.
Oh, man. Right. Oh, jeez. I shouldn't have done this episode because it's going to cost me an utter fortune. And probably one of my children's eyes as well.
That's okay because you've got 2 kids.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
exactly. You got a spare. It's all good, right?
Yeah, no problem.
There's one. Do you remember Rampage?
No, I don't remember that.
The computer game, where you were a big, sort of King Kong, big lizard, or big wolf, and you went around smashing down buildings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, there is a board game of that now, where you again physically smash down the stuff. You have to flip this disc across the table and knock stuff down.
Really?
Yep.
Bloody hell! Has it got ball bearings in it?
I don't know. I've not played it. I've only been told about it. I'm just looking at a picture now. It just reminded me of that, thinking about, actually throwing stuff around the room.
I can't seem to find it.
Just search for Rampage board game.
Okay. I've got the DVD up for some reason. Board game.
And there's like a little map with a city on it, streets and things, and you build up the little buildings, and they all have little people in them. And you get the people to, I assume, to eat them.
Oh, okay. Bloody hell.
And you've got to flick the tokens across to knock stuff down.
Okay, the one I'm looking at is £194 in Amazon. That must be an old one.
Yeah.
Christ. Right. Okay, are you all right to come back for a second hour? Because we're running out of time now.
Yes, no worries.
Because we got Mousetrap to talk about. We've got Ludo.
Yeah.
Everything. So
loads of stuff.
People in the chat room, thank you for joining us. Sorry about the technical issues. It seems to be a normal thing now. So it's one of them things.
It's called the Shonky Lab. What do they expect?
Exactly. Yeah. It's my get out clause. What can I do?
Exactly. Get out of jail free card.
Yeah. I clearly need lots of them. Please join us in around about 15 minutes. We're going to go off, grab some drinks and rehydrate and get ready to talk about Bloody Mousetrap. Definitely.
Brilliant.
People listening to this on the podcast who have downloaded it, by the way, people in the Mixler room, please still download this. Otherwise you're cheating. That's the rule. You come into the chat room, you still have to download it.
And we do know where they live.
Yes, we know. We will know.
We will find you.
So people listening to this, we're going to be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, and we'll carry on as per normal. So we'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Shonky Lab. We're talking about board games, if you didn't already know. We are recording this live on Mixler, which is mixler.com/Rogue2Media. You can join in the chat room there. People will be putting stuff up and probably bitching about Mousetrap in very short moments.
In the chat room at the moment, there's a game of Cluedo going on.
Is there?
Yeah. They're trying to work out who it is.
Should we talk about Cluedo?
If you like.
While we're on it. First off, just news. Yes, my mother-in-law did hear me say, for fuck's sake.
What, before you slam the phone down?
Before I rip the battery out of the phone. So now she probably thinks I'm really cross. So, well done, Elton. That's another balls up you've made.
Yeah, just chalk it up with the rest of them. It'll be fine.
Okay. Okay, Cluedo. Then we'll do Mousetrap. Why not?
Yes.
Cluedo. I love Cluedo.
Yeah. It's not a game I've played a lot, but I always used to like trying to get it right before you've got all the pieces. Because if you guess and you're wrong, aren't you out?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, so I'd get like most of them.
Right.
And then try and get that last one and go for broke. I've only won once doing that.
I think it's a really good game because you can really frustrate people because you'll see people walking on the board trying to get to a room and they'll stop short, maybe 2 squares short of getting into a room, and you can call them all the way across that board into your room where you are. Just to, even though you know it's not them, just to ruin their chances of finding other bits, which I love. I love that. And when it happens to me, it's so frustrating.
That's one of the great things about board games, isn't it? There's so many little ways of being able to stitch other people up. What we enjoy the most about playing them. Yeah.
So Martin Thompson in the chat room has, he's got Cluedo and he's hidden it all. He's playing Cluedo.
Yeah.
for the rest of the chat room then, yeah?
Yes.
Oh,
They're trying
jeez.
to work out who it is.
Okay.
I haven't
Mrs.
had my guess yet.
Have you not?
No.
Can I do mine now?
Yeah, do that because I've got to get the wiki up to remind me of what I can guess.
Oh, I'm just going to guess Mrs. White in the library with the rope. There we go.
Right. I'm going to go Colonel Mustard in the kitchen with a revolver.
Cool. I'm looking forward to the answer very soon. And I'm sure the listeners are as well. It's like when we played, what was the card game we played last time? Price is Right. No, was it the Price is Right? Oh,
yes, yeah.
Higher and lower game. Jesus.
Yeah, that one. Oh, yeah.
Oh, Pie Man's got it.
Pie Man got it right. It's Mrs. Scarlet in the library with the lead pipe.
Oh, well done, sir.
Which ones did you guess? Did you get any of those?
No.
No, neither did I.
I don't think I did anyway.
Be terrible policeman. Terrible.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, Cluedo, I love. I can play that anytime. I do get frustrated, but I find it's a fun game.
Yeah. It appeals to me playing these kind of games the way you can put some kind of story to it. It's like there's something going on and you can use your imagination a bit more. It's why I never really like playing games like Scrabble and things like that because I just can't get my head into it. It's like solving puzzles.
Scrabble's a points-based game, though, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And you'd rather have a story-based scenario?
I'd rather have something with events and characters and things like that going on.
Yeah.
A name, something that I can say, okay, I'm doing this, or I've got to find out this, or a different world, that kind of thing. A bit more of imagination rather than just a puzzle type thing.
Right. Is that the same as, because I know you do these board games where is it paint the figurines as well?
Yeah, like the war games. Yeah.
Right. And I suppose that is very similar to what you like, or the aspects you liked in Cluedo.
Yeah.
So you, like a role play.
Cause it's like you're in a place, aren't you? Trying to find something out. Yeah. It's a little bit more, though the game mechanics are probably still quite similar to loads of other games. You know, you're still just rolling a dice and moving around. There's just that little bit of imagination attached to it, which I like. Yeah. Oh, I've just seen in the chat room, Pie Man has put up Ghost Castle. I was thinking about this when I was making a cup of tea. Every year, some friends of mine hire out a holiday home somewhere, usually in Yorkshire or North Wales or somewhere. Yeah. And we fill the fridge with food and beer, and we take loads of games, and we just go up there for a couple of days and play loads of games. And this year, my friend brought Ghost Castle. Right. And it was one of the most successful games of the weekend. Playing this silly game that's been years and years, from the 80s. Did you ever play it? No, I've never played it. I've seen it. I think my friends had it. Yeah. And because it had little, there's movable floors, aren't there? Yeah. What it was, there was like in the middle, there's this little plastic tower with stairs going up to the top, and a skull on top, and a hole. And the idea was, sort of coming off this thing are 4 walls, separating into 4 different rooms. And at each entrance into the room was a different trap. And you roll the dice and you move around the board. And on the squares are different things. And if you land on one of the trap squares, you have to put the plastic skull into the plastic tower. Yeah. And inside there, it would just randomly roll in a different direction and set off one of the traps. Oh, okay. And if you were in the trap zone that got set off, your little figure got hit by an axe or whatever it was and got knocked over, and then you had to go back to the start. Oh, brilliant. Yeah. And you had to keep doing this and the winner was the one who got to the top of the stairs of this tower.
I remember the advert for it.
Yeah.
See, they've got a new version of it on
Have they?
on Amazon. It looks like it's built of the same construction with the tower in the middle, the stairs, and the movable floors. It's just been updated.
Okay.
I think you can buy old versions of it as well.
Probably. It was really simple. You were literally just rolling a dice and moving that amount of squares and hoping you didn't get caught by the traps.
Right.
That was it. And it had it was one of the squares where you were petrified, and it came with these little white plastic heads that you put over the head of your character, and it was glow in the dark, and it was like a white face of someone terrified, and their hair was standing on end and things like that.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Glow in the dark.
And you missed a go if you had that, or you had to do something to get unpetrified. I can't remember now.
Oh, right. Add
good.
to basket. Jeez.
They've got a Ghostbusters version of it.
Oh, I'm not going to go there.
You want to keep it real. You want to get the original.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's do the mousetrap because we're talking about traps and stuff.
Yes.
I had an original mousetrap.
I think I did too.
It was given to me by my cousins, and I think I used to play it correctly because you had to build it up as you went around the board, didn't you?
Yeah.
But then the fun with that game is that you didn't have to play the game. You could just set it up and have hours of fun just trapping stuff.
Exactly. No one ever actually played the game.
No.
You just built the trap.
No, we played the game a few times and really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But they've updated it.
Have they?
Yeah, it's totally different now.
Oh, is this health and safety again?
Well, yeah, because it might be health and safety because you did get a big ball bearing in the original one, didn't you? That went down the wibbly wobbly slide.
Yeah.
Also, the diving man was chewed up quite badly by a cat, I think. And there was another ball that went into a bath. Yeah.
Yeah, the diving man was the best.
Yeah, and it worked every
brilliant.
time. I thought it was brilliant. The new one now, though, well, this is 10 years ago. I don't know whether they've updated it again and gone back to the original, but the one that we bought, which we thought we were just buying mousetrap, is a big square board, and in the middle of it, you've got a big toilet. And like the Ghost game, you'd put ball bearings into this toilet, and at certain points, you'd have to flush the toilet. And if you're in that area, then a ball bearing would randomly come out of a trap and then either trap you or your friends. So it does share some similarities with that Ghost House. But it just wasn't Mousetrap. That's the problem. Everyone's got, from my age and younger and older, they have memories of playing Mousetrap and just building it or playing the game and the wibbly wobbly thing with the ball bearing, the boot,
kicking it down the stairs, and and the diver,
and the ball going down that table where it goes left to right very quickly, and then hitting the man would dive into the big water thing.
That's right.
And then that set off the mouse
set the trap off, wouldn't it?
Oh, it was.
Did the mousetrap always set off, or did it sometimes get stuck halfway down?
I think we played. If it got stuck, then that was it. That was your turn, and you got out of it.
Yeah, that's what I thought the game was, wasn't it? Like if it didn't come down, you got out, you won or something.
Yeah, it's like the real life guillotine. If it doesn't chop your head off 3 times, that's it. You can walk away from it.
Yeah, exactly. If it only goes halfway through your neck the first time, you just get.
But yeah, I do have fond memories of it. I would love to play an old game of that.
Put it on the list. Bring it down to the Imperial.
Right, I'm going to look for it on Amazon, see if it is on there.
For the Shonky Games night.
Yeah, I said I wouldn't do an Amazon episode again, but it seems like I'm doing that now. Just going through there and trying to find bloody...
Shonky Lab, brought to you by Amazon.
I've actually got mousetraps come up. Clean kill mousetrap. Oh, jeez. Humane mousetrap.
Yeah, because it would be a terrible thing to catch mice with. It wouldn't work very well.
I'm looking for a board game, aren't I? Christ. Right, board game. Yeah, I think it's got the version that I had. Let me just double check. Yeah, if you go to Hasbro Mousetrap board game, that's the one that they've reinvented, and it's not very good. I'd say stay well clear of that. It's just not the game that we used to play as a kid. But they do have a 1996 version. Oh, there we go. That's 34 quid. That looks like an old raffle thing.
You are not going to have much money, are you?
No, I'm not.
Either that or all of your Christmas presents are going to be bought really early.
Yeah, people just looking at my bucket. Or basket, sorry.
Alright, someone's mentioned Kaplunk. I don't really know about Kaplunk.
Oh,
I don't think I ever played it. Was that the one with the plastic sticks in the plastic jar?
Yeah, it takes 3 hours to set up. And it's really frustrating.
30 seconds to play.
Yeah, it's got all the colourful sticks going through a bowl, and you place marbles in the top. This is from what I remember anyway. And the marbles get caught by the sticks, and it's each person's turn to take out the sticks without dropping any marbles. And if you drop a marble, then it goes into your little collection, and the person with the least amount of marbles wins. That's what I remember, and that's what we used to play anyway. Hang on, we seem to have gone off again. Is that back on? No, that's not back on.
Did it go off?
Yeah, it went off again. There we go.
Okay. Awesome.
Stupid thing.
The chat room's just talking amongst themselves now. They're not even listening anymore.
Nah, that's fine. That's kind of what I expect at the moment.
I'm just looking over there. My shelf with games on, I can see it from where I'm sat. There's one, War on Terror. Have you ever heard of that before?
No, I haven't, no.
It's a game by a company called Terror Bull Games.
Okay.
As in, moo and horns and things. But it's a satirical game on George Bush's War on Terror.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And you've got the world map, where, similar to Risk, portioned out into sections and things. And you have to build your empire up. And you can be a sort of corporate, normal empire, or you can be the terrorist. And you can keep swapping between it. And you do things by building cities and getting oil counters and things like that. But it's very silly. There's lots of cards involved. It's your birthday, collect so many dollars from all the terrorists, that kind of thing.
Right, okay. Because they do that, don't they, terrorists?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. and you can play a war card on someone, and people do this, and you can set up terrorist cells all over the place. And like I say, one or more people end up, as you get knocked out of the game, you become one of the terrorist players.
Right, okay.
But you all play together, so it could be like 2 or 3 people.
What's this called again?
War on Terror.
Okay.
It's silly, but my favourite thing about it is some of the cards say you have to spin the axis of evil. Do you remember the axis of evil that George Bush said about there being Iran and Iraq and whoever else?
Yes, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
in this game, it's a circle with all the colours of the players on it and a spinny thing in the middle and you spin it round, and whichever colour it lands on, that player is then the terrorist, and they get given, and this comes in the box with the game, a balaclava with the word evil on the top, and they have to sit and wear it.
Oh, brilliant!
Until you spin the axis of evil again, and then it passes on to another person. And while you're wearing the balaclava, you're a terrorist player, and you can only draw from the terrorist decks and things like that. Yeah, it's very silly. It's a good game though. It actually works quite well.
I like it. There's a second edition one on Amazon for 150 quid.
Really? That much?
What does your box look like?
It's yellow and red.
Has it got Indiana Jones War of Terror on the front? That sort of font.
I can't see it from here. I'll just have to have a look.
I think this is right. I'm going to drop it in the link in the Mixler for you just to see. Yeah, if you guys want to buy it for me as well, I don't mind. Just saying. I think that's it. It says the board game.
Hang on. I'm just looking now.
It says includes Evil Balaclava.
Yes, that's the one. Yes. With all the cartoon stuff on, yeah.
That's amazing.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Maybe it's out of print now. I'll bring that to the gaming thing.
Yeah. Why not? I forgot to mention.
Yep.
With the chess game.
Oh yeah.
I have Tri-Chess. Have you ever played Tri-Chess?
I take it that's chess, three-way chess.
Three-way chess, yeah. I flipping love it.
I haven't played that.
I flipping love it. We had a couple of games. I bought it for Amanda for her birthday. We went down to there's a little antiques place near us, and they make this homemade stuff there, and there's small chess pieces and large chess boards and very ornate chess boards and handcrafted ones, and they had this three-way game, and it folds out. You can put all your pieces back inside. It's like a big pocket, so you can keep all your pieces in it and fold it up, clasp it together, and that's it. It stays on the shelf, and it's half a chessboard. And when you want to play it, you just fold it out, tip all the pieces out, and you got 3 games of three-way chess. And because it's three-way, you're attacking both players at the same time. So
how do you have to win against both of them at the same time, or you take one out and then the other?
That's what we were playing. It ended up you'd gang up on someone. Right. You'd see that someone was losing, so both of the people that were not losing would take out that person losing, and then you'd attack each other. That's the way it happened for us, anyway. But yeah, it's really good.
What would you do though? Because you'd have to think, well, I can go and get this person out, but then I might leave myself in a bad place for the other person. If you just sort of hang back a bit.
Well, the way the board is it forces you to attack both people at the same time, because the way it's laid, it's like a pentagon.
Right.
And so the way the squares spread out as they get towards the center of the board, you find your team or your whole army splitting into 2 anyway. So your left side will be attacking your left-hand person's right side, while their left side will be attacking your right-hand person's right side. It's you have to see it to really understand what's going on, but it gets really confusing in the middle of the board. So you'll have a knight, and they can do that L shape jump that they do. Yeah. And if you hit the middle of the board, you can go 3 or 4 different ways. So you could attack either player.
I've just got a picture of the board up. That's mental.
Yeah, but it's really good.
Red chess pieces. That's so weird.
Doreen's asking, is this the one? In the chat room. Hang on. Yes, that's the one. I've got that. That's the board that we have.
Oh, wow, look at that.
And they are really pretty boards as well. They're really nice. And it gets complicated in the centre.
Yeah, because I suppose one at a time, isn't it? Oh, how do pawns move?
Just one square.
No, but in terms of diagonally, when you got to take something.
Well, then they just take the diagonal square.
But that middle one looks really complicated.
Yeah. That's where it does get a bit iffy.
Where's the diagonal square in the middle?
Okay.
This isn't really for radio, this.
No, it's not. No. But I would suggest people go and find a 3-player wooden chess set and have a go. It is worth it.
I definitely want to have a go at that. I've heard of 3D chess.
Is that the one where you can go up and down?
Yeah. I've never played it.
No.
But I've seen it. I mean, they have it on Big Bang Theory. They always talk about it.
Oh, I've never seen it. I've heard of it, but...
Yeah, I've just found a very strange board. I'm going to put that up there as well.
Can I tell one while you're doing that? I'm going to tell you a really crap board game that nobody should buy. Go
on. Scrabble. We've been over that one already.
The TV show, which I love, The Cube, is it's people in a massive box doing really easy tasks and making you scream at the TV, going, "That's well easy! I can do that. I can jump over a hoop. What are you doing? Or I can put a ball or wind a ball on a pole. What the hell?" The board game for it is just utter shit. This was like 25, 30 quid's worth of just wasted money. It's about...
You bought it then?
Yes, we bought it, yeah. Because we thought it might be good. Because, how hard can it be, really? And it's just softballs and a cardboard hoop and a small little box that you have to throw a really soft ball through the hoop into the box. It's not big enough. That's the problem. If you're going to buy the Cube game, they should sell you a greenhouse and make you stand in a greenhouse and then play it for real.
Yeah.
Just because it's miniature doesn't make it's going to be any good, and it isn't. So I'd say well clear of that.
Jack Woodgate said he's just seen the Crystal Maze board game for $1.99.
Oh, this is scary.
They were always bad, though, weren't they? Conversions of game shows.
They weren't great, were they?
And unless it was one where you had lots of questions.
Well, yeah, then you're just into a quiz show, though, aren't you? So that's not too bad. That translates a bit better.
But do you remember the Mastermind game?
Is that the one with the pegs?
Yeah. I hope it wasn't connected to the TV show, because that's a really terrible translation if it was.
Well, I think it was boxed as the TV show, though, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
I have no idea. I've never played it. I just remember seeing it.
Well, Mastermind, from what I remember, because my granddad had it, and it's a board where you can place pegs in, and one player would choose the combination of pegs, and you have a set amount of goes to get that combination of pegs before you run out of time or run out of turns. And so I would place, I think it's 5 or 6 pegs. Let's say 5. I'd place 5 pegs. 3 would be green, 2 would be yellow. And they'll be in a 3 green, 2 yellow order. And then you'd have 10, 15 goes of trying to get and match exactly what I've done. But you're hidden from what I've pegged down.
Okay.
I think it's quite a good game. I think it's quite good, actually. And
it sounds hard.
Well, I think you can give them hints of, yes, you've got 2 right. Okay, so your next go, right, I've got 2 right. So then you'll try a different combination and you'll be like, no, you've got none right. Oh, no. So you try a different combination with what you had in the previous go and then you've got 1 right. And that's how you work out how and what goes where. I thought it was a very good game.
I believe you. It just sounds hard, complicated.
Nice. I didn't think it was that complicated. I was playing it as a kid, so it can't be that bad.
That's true. That's true. Kids are better at this kind of thing, aren't they?
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
One of the more recent games that's been all over the world, literally, Pandemic.
Oh, okay, yep.
Have you played it?
I have it.
You have it?
It doesn't mean I've played it yet.
How long have you had it for?
We bought it for our son for Christmas.
This Christmas just gone?
Yeah, this Christmas just gone. We got all the bits out and went, oh, that's interesting. And then had to disappear. So we didn't actually get round to playing it. And there's quite a few rules as well.
It's really, really good.
Because you're working with each other, aren't you, in this game?
That's right. Because the board games have exploded in recent years. They're really, really popular. There's loads of them being released. But one of the things is because so many more people are coming into playing games now, rather than, because we've talked a lot about the sort of kids games almost, like the ones you had when you were little, with very simple things like Mousetrap and whatever. But these are a lot more complicated games, like you say, with loads of rules and stuff going on. And Pandemic's one of those. But it's built on playing with each other on the same side rather than against each other.
Yeah.
And that's helped to bring lots more people into playing these games. But Pandemic the idea is that you are all health workers of some description. So there'll be a medic, a scientist, a administrator, different roles, somebody who transporter, things like that. And you have to basically cure I think it's 5 diseases across the planet. But as you play the game, these diseases spread up in random places depending on how you draw cards out.
Okay.
And it can get really tense because you don't know where in the deck these cards are that are going to mean that more disease spreads randomly across the board. Because the mechanic is that if 3 disease counters on a city, every city next to it then gets a disease counter on it.
Right.
But of course, they could already have some on it. So if they've got 2 and then you add another one, then that spreads all over the world again, or to every city around that. So if you let things build up too much, or if you just get really unlucky with how you draw the cards, suddenly you could have disease all over the world and everyone dies.
Right.
It's very, very good.
I do want to. This is one of the games that you need to learn the rules way before you actually play it. It's not a sit down with kids and adults that don't know how to play this and try and work it out. I don't think.
There's a YouTube series called Tabletop, which is Will Wheaton, him, famous in geek circles.
Yeah.
And he gets in some of his friends and they play. It's quite good production values and they play, it's quite nice. It's not just a sort of cheap run YouTube thing. And they play these games, but as they play it, they talk you through how it works.
Yeah.
And I found watching those quite good at picking up how games work. And there is one for Pandemic.
Oh, okay. I might try that out.
Yeah, but YouTube generally actually is a good place to go to watch people play games.
Yeah.
So you can learn how to play it.
Yeah.
But Pandemic's really good.
Yeah, I'm going to try and learn it.
Yeah. What's great about it as well is no game's ever going to be the same. Mm-hmm. Because the mechanic is all about the cards and the order they're drawn out, and because of course you shuffle them, you'd never know. And you can choose how many disease spread cards to put in as well. So if you want an easy game, you just have 2. If you want a really hard one, you put 6 in.
Right.
Very, very good.
Jack Woodgate in the chat room, he's put Escape from Colbit's. Or Colditz,
I never played that.
I've never played it either, but...
Okay, well, that's that done.
I kind of want to. It looks interesting. Escaping, and there's Nazi symbols. What more can you want?
Hang on. You said we weren't to mention that in the green room.
There is one game I do need to mention first, but there is a game I do want to play as well. Captain Sonar. I've just put a link in the chat room for people to look at that. And it's a submarine game.
Yeah.
But you're playing against people, but you play as a 3 or 4 person crew to guide the submarine around. And I think you're on like a chase. So you need possibly 8 people to play this game. And you have a radio operator, you have the captain, you have the first mate, and the engineer. And it's about balancing what you have and what you need against the other team, and you're either chasing or you're being chased.
Okay.
And you have to your team has to work together to get the right apparatus working in your situation. So maybe you'll need I don't quite know what it is all about, but you'll need to build up your sonar. You need to build up your torpedoes. If you haven't got enough, then you can't fire your torpedoes. And you have a captain that is delegating everything to everyone else to make this game work for you. And all the while, you've got another team on the other side, either trying to find you or trying to escape from you.
It does look good. I know you showed me this the other day, and I thought it looks interesting, but I didn't realise that it was a sort of team thing against each other. Yeah. In that way. Oh, that looks really good.
It does look good. Yeah. I would like to have a go of it.
Okay, stick it on the list.
Another one that is ship orientated, battleships.
Right. The game of the film, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The film came out first, didn't it?
That's right, pretty much. I'm sure that happened.
I love battleships. I played it with my son this year, and obviously he beat me.
Of course, standard.
Yeah, I flipping love it. The only problem we have is we've got a really cheap version of it. So if you knock your board, shall we say, and your counters can fall out really easy. It's just frustrating. It is so frustrating. And there's nothing worse than a counter getting stuck down where your fingers just can't reach.
I never really had a proper sort of battleship set. You just used to play it on paper.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Yeah, you'd have just... Oh dear.
That's just showing how posh I am. No, paper? God, no. I need the board game, crying out loud.
I was just looking through, because you reminded me of something when you was talking about the Captain Sonar. Have you ever heard of one called Space Cadets?
No, I haven't, no.
Space Cadets, I think, came a bit before Captain Sonar, and it's another cooperative game. And you each play a crew member on the spaceship, and you get given a mission.
Okay.
And you have to complete this mission, so you can be the helmsman, who's driving, an engineer who allocates power out to things, a weapons officer shoots things, shields, sensors, captain, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But in order to do your role, you have to complete little mini games.
Oh,
and
okay.
you're up against the clock as well to do it. And apparently it's really frantic, and you have to pass pieces between each other whilst trying to complete your game. And the captain's trying to organise everything, and you've got like a minute to do everything. And from what I know about it, apparently it just gets really frantic, and everyone loses all the time because you always mess up trying to do these little quizzes under pressure. And if you want to fire your cannons at something, then that means that the engineer has to have done their little mini game properly.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And if they haven't, or if they're not thinking properly and they've allocated power to something else, then you can't shoot. So there's another one. It's similar title where it's sort of similar kind of thing. I may be getting the two confused. Where you've got a CD, so it's played in real time. So you put the CD in the CD player, and that has the missions on it.
Okay.
And so the idea is that your ship jumps into a place, you've got to scan it quickly, and while you're scanning it, you get attacked from all sides by all these different things, and you have to survive so the ship can complete its scan and then jump out again. Right. But while you're doing this, CD, so your captain will be trying to organise and say, okay, well, what we're going to do in this turn is you're going to shoot them, so you need to get this power to divert it to this place and things like that. And then randomly, an alarm will go off, and you're saying you're under attack, and you've all got to do these things really quickly. And what will happen is someone will forget to do something, or someone won't have understood properly what you said, and they've shoved the thing elsewhere. And again, you end up just getting blown up.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
But it also reminds me of, there was records that you could have horse races on. And
what?
Yeah, right, okay. You'd have a record, you put it on your record player, and then you'd play the record, and it would say, okay, right, you have 6 horses. It'd set out its stalls.
Yeah.
And then you have to bet on what horse will win.
I can see a flaw in this game.
No. Because the record is scratched, and so it is purposely scratched. And so it will be random as to how your horses will finish.
That's absolute genius.
It is, yeah. And I remember playing it, and it was brilliant. I loved it. Not quite a board game, but I think it sits there as it is a game.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think you could do many things like that, because with the CD, how would it know?
Well, it just had loads of different missions on it, so
Right.
I suppose you could only play through them a certain amount of times. And I think there's an app or something, and you can get more, download more stuff, stuff like that. Just looking at my pile of games, one you might like. I've got one called the Really Nasty Motor Racing Game.
Okay, what happens there?
So you've got your track, which is the board, and it's split up into sections, and you have to decide what tyres you're using, and how fast you're going. And depending on how fast you're going, depends on which dice you roll.
Okay.
So the faster you're going, the more the dice have more, the higher numbers and more squares you can use. But of course, when you're going around corners, you've got to slow down.
Yeah.
Or rather, you don't have to slow down. But if you go through a corner really fast, you've got a chance that one of the other players might play one of their really nasty cards on you because you've gone through a corner too fast.
Right. Okay.
So you got to try and choose. Am I going to slow down to go around this corner? And then there's things like people can play a card which changes the weather. So you can wait until somebody's just gone past the pit lane, and then go, no, it's raining. So then they've got to go around the entire track on their slicks, because you have to change the dice then to sort of like wet weather dice. So if you've got wet weather tyres, you can just carry on as normal. Off you go really fast. But if you haven't, you've got to roll these really slow dice and crawl around the entire track trying to get back to the pit lane to change them.
I like the sound of this.
But then, of course, you can do that, and then they can just go, oh, well, it's dry again now. And it's like, oh, God. So you've got to go around really slowly again because you've got wet weather tyres on. and you can make people spin off on corners and things like that. And, it's very good. It's silly. I was going to bring it when I came up last year, but I forgot it.
Well, bring it next time then.
Yes,
definitely.
I will do.
I've just looked on Amazon, and there's It looks like the Really Nasty is a collection of, you got a horse racing game, bankers game, a Really Nasty golf game as well. So
Okay, I didn't know about the golf and the bankers one. I know about the horse racing one.
I take it the horse racing one would be the same thing, just with horses instead of
similar. A friend of mine's got it. I'll have to find out once. But she did say that the motor racing one is worse, as in you can be more evil.
Sweet.
Yeah.
There is one game, if I don't mention it, I will get in trouble from several people that either listen or we frequent with. And it is known in our circles as Bag of Shame.
Go on.
It's brilliant. You know, I mentioned the three-way chess a little while ago.
Yeah.
Three-way dominoes. Now, instead of having a normal dominoes in itself is brilliant anyway.
Yeah.
But these are triangular dominoes. And so instead of trying to match one side of your domino up with another one side of another domino, you're trying to match two corners to two other corners of dominoes. Sometimes three corners.
Surely that would just come a time when everyone's just sat there looking at it and no one can move.
No, it doesn't work like that. Yeah, it works really well. This was brought into my life by Odile Thomas.
Right.
She brought it up a couple of years ago to Pete and Tracy's house.
Yeah.
And then they ended up with a copy of this game. And they still have it at their house. We pop over there, play it with Tracy, and just flipping adore it. To the point where we went out and bought our own version of it. But it's shop bought. And so, because the one that Odile brought up is homemade.
Okay.
It was all painted nicely and correctly. And it made out of wood and almost handcrafted. Probably is handcrafted. And shaped nicely. Feels really good in your hands. It's got a nice weight to it as well. Yeah. And it sounds good when you slam it on the table. The version we bought were hollow plastic things, not coloured at all. The version that Odile and Tracy have got different colours. So the 5s will be whites, blues will be 2s, and so it's pleasing to the eye, and it helps as well actually playing the game that way.
Well, you need to get Scurvy Lemon Project on it.
Yeah. It's a really good game, and a game can last between 10 minutes or maybe half hour. And it's just such a simple thing, and it gets you thinking, but kids and adults and everyone in between can play it. And it works so well. Because it is frustrating, and you can frustrate people. But without knowing, because you're not showing anyone else what you've got left.
Yeah.
And the idea is, if you can't go, then you have to pick another triangle from the bag of shame. And if you can't go, then that's where the bag of shame comes from. It is the bag of shame. You have to put your hand in there.
You need to get a bag with the word shame written on it.
Or a person from Game of Thrones and a bell, and just
shame.
Ringing the bell behind you going, shame.
Again, that's what you've got kids for. Stand there, ring this bell and say shame.
Is it called
Triominoes?
Yes, that's it, yeah.
That's the link Doreen's put up.
That's it, yes. It is well worth it. I think it's a brilliant game. Obviously, try and bend Odile's arm and try and get a homemade version of it, because it's far superior to anything you can buy in the shops. But yeah, man, that is a game and a half. And if I didn't mention it, I'd probably get shot.
Is there anything else that we need to mention?
Well, there's a million games out there
that
we can get. You can buy utter guff. There's one that we bought. You know that game where you put Post-it notes on your forehead and you have to guess who it is?
Oh, yeah.
There's a board game for that where instead of putting
how is there a board game for that?
We have it. And I don't like either version. I don't like that game. I don't like having sticky stuff on me anyway, and just sitting in a circle with David Blaine written on my forehead and me trying to guess that I'm David Blaine. It just doesn't appeal to me.
Am I an arsehole? Yes, David Blaine. You've got it.
It's frustrating because you can't see it because it's above your eyes.
Elton.
Yes.
That's the point in it.
Yes. But it's frustrating. And you can buy a board game of this now. Instead of going out and buying Post-it notes.
for like 80p or something from Wilco's.
You can buy this board game where you have plastic bandanas with little holders, and you put cards in the holders, and then everyone else can see it apart from you, and you just have to guess it. I hate that game. I hate it so much. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. I'm trying to go through all the other ones that we've got. Connect 4. We haven't hit Connect 4.
Is that a board game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's in the board game cupboard, isn't it?
That's true. It's on the shelf in the pub with Jenga.
Yeah. Twister. That's not in the pub though, is it? Twister. I flipping hate Twister. Be.
Really? Is that because we're old now?
No, never liked it.
No?
Never liked it. And is it a board game?
Twister? I suppose.
It's in the board game section, isn't it?
Yeah. In Toys R Us, it'll be there.
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember one where I played it recently, and you have these little plastic guns, and you have to draw them out at the same time and point them at the other players. I can't for the life of me remember what it's called. So what happens is the idea of it is you are all bank robbers, and you've robbed the bank and you've got your stash back to your hideout, and the money's in the middle, and now you're arguing over who should get what.
Mm-hmm.
And at the start you have your little plastic gun on the table, and then you say, right, draw, and everyone draws it really quickly and points it at another player.
Okay.
And then you have to decide really quickly whether I think you've got like 30 seconds to decide whether you're going to duck or whether you're going to stand. That's right, because you have to choose which bullet you want first, and so there's live bullets or there's fake bullets or misses and stuff like that. So you have to think, okay, are they actually going to use one of their live bullets to shoot me, or is this a bluff?
Right, okay.
Or you can duck. So if you duck, you don't get shot and you don't lose life, but you can't take any of the stash.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to stay standing up and hope they're bluffing, don't shoot you, to get some of the stash. And the winner is the one who's got the most stash when it's all gone. You've got like 3 lives, so if you get shot 3 times, you're out, or something like that.
Okay.
But it's really daft because you have to, again, it's that thing about stitching other people up, and you got to look at your player and the people you're playing against and think, are you going to shoot me at this moment?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that element of like drawing it really quickly is quite funny. It's a good game. I can't for the life of me remember what it's called though.
You're reminding me of it sounds like Pictionary, but a different version of that. Also making something as well. Wasn't there a board game where you had to have a dog and it did a shit?
That game I was talking about is called Cash and Guns, by the way.
Oh, Cash and Guns. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, there was. I think. Or maybe it's not.
Squeeze his tail and then he did a little yellow poo.
Yeah, my nephew got it for Christmas before last. And we couldn't for the life of us figure out how to get it to work. It had like Play-Doh in it, didn't it? And we just like spent most of the Christmas day just pumping this dog, trying to get it to poo.
Oh, that's not what you want, is it? You're just congealed Play-Doh in a dog. And,
just like continually shoving more Play-Doh into this dog to try and get it to poo.
There's some idiot that took that dog to Pets at Home to find out what's going wrong with it. We've only got 5 minutes, so we're going to wrap it up in a second.
Sure.
Balderdash. Have you ever played that?
No.
Border Dash is brilliant. It can work in a number of ways. You have cards. It's a card game, but you are going around a board as well. And you have certain categories that you have to work from. You have initials, laws, famous people, and you can either make utter twaddle out about these things that you are given. It's easier if you play it and sit around with people, because I'm not explaining it very well because I'm rushing it now. But it can either be the funniest game in the world or the most serious game in the world, and it depends on who you're playing with or what your reasons for playing it are. You can either have a stupid thing where you can make up stupid initials, and if you're a little drunk, it is brilliant. But if you're in the mood for being competitive, then it can be brilliant too. But if you've got two people playing one way and two people playing the other way, it's not going to work.
Okay.
But I would recommend that as well.
Okay, sounds good.
You got one more?
I think I'm good. Nothing comes to mind.
Okay, cool. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there then.
Okay, sure.
Thank you to everyone in the chat room that's joined in and stuck board games and put it on my Amazon wish list. Crying out loud, you've cost me an absolute fortune in nostalgia there.
Well, you've got to have something to do during the apocalypse.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not all just fighting zombies.
No, that's true. Yeah, thank you for joining us. Thank you to everyone who's joined the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/Shonky Lab. Please download this on the iTunes. Please leave us a review. We haven't had a review for a little while. If you use the iTunes, then it makes us crawl up a magical ladder that doesn't really exist, but it opens our horizons out to other people so they can see it. Have you got anything to plug, Lee?
I'll say if anybody wants to sign petitions to do with Millwall FC and the local community getting their land stolen by the evil council.
Sounds like a board game they should make.
And dodgy developers, then please do. And I'll also put up a link to Board in the City, which is the cafe I was telling you about in Southampton. And if you don't live in Southampton, search out a similar kind of thing, because they're probably in a place near you and they need support as well.
Good man.
So, there we go.
Yeah, I think I will search one out. Why not? Well, thank you very much for joining me for this, mate. It's been
no worries. Always a pleasure.
Excellent fun with technical errors and issues.
Swearing, or the usual Shonky Lab stuff.
Like swearing at your mother-in-law.
Euphemisms, all of that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. So thank you. Thank you to everyone who's listened to this, and we'll catch you again next time. I'm not too sure what we're talking about, but go to the Facebook group and you'll find out there. So thank you very much, and we'll see you then. Bye.
See ya.
Sometimes they come along and they want to play. My boy loves Monopoly.
Yeah.
And he's got a Manchester United Monopoly, so we have to play the Manchester United Monopoly. I've got the old Australian version, but it's still at its heart the same game. So it's fine. I just find it frustrating. I'm so shit at it. I really am. I'm not just saying that just for shits and giggles on the podcast. I am shit, and I do always... I'll end up going to jail. Last time we played it, I did end up going to jail, getting out, and then getting a chance card and going back to jail. And I could physically see 3 people around me, Amanda, Kimmy, and Jacob, all trying not to laugh, but doing that, their shoulders were bobbing up and down because they're laughing so hard inside. And I was sat there going, I don't want to go to jail.
Do you know what? We didn't talk about Sabutio.
Oh no, we didn't know.
We didn't. No. And I just got reminded there was a cricket version. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. My friend had the cricket version because the cricketer was an actual batsman, wasn't he?
Yeah, and you had a little steel ball, a little ball bearing, and you bowled the thing, and then you had to, like you say, time yourself batting it.
Oh, sod it. Let's put this at the end of, it's a little bonus content. Sod it. Sabutio was frustrating, but really good.
Yeah. There was a Channel 4 documentary about the Sabutio World Cup. I'm sure you can. It's better than that. There was this guy. I think he was the Welsh guy and the Scottish bloke who really hated each other.
Right.
And they played on the circuit against each other all the time. And in this documentary, one guy loses to the other and he storms off. He's being really angry. I think it was in the 90s, early 90s.
Oh, that's early rage quitting, isn't it?
Yeah.
There was that crappy version of Sabutio as well, with the magnet ball.
And
you had to pop their heads.
Yeah, I never played it. My eldest nephew had it.
I just remembered the cricket one.
Yeah.
You had to bowl it and the little ball bearing went down the slope, didn't it?
That's right.
Holy shit.
And then you had to time when to bat it away, didn't you?
Yeah.
And
that's amazing.
And all of your fielders had little green bases with a slot in it or like a gap.
Yeah.
And if the ball went into that gap, that they were caught and you were out.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna try and find it on. There's got to be an advert. I'm trying to find it on YouTube now. If I can play it down to you, I will.
We didn't talk about Ticket to Ride.
No, we didn't. No. Bum.
Ticket to Ride's okay. It's good. It's inoffensive and nice.
Or Operation. Didn't play Operation?
No. I saw Operation and I kept wanting to mention it, but wanted to talk about other things instead.
I can't find the advert.
Yeah. But we didn't talk about Hero Quest.
I don't know what Hero Quest was.
I mentioned it, I think, briefly, but it was MB Games tried to make. So Games Workshop were doing their thing, and they tried to give it a wider appeal by making a sort of board game version of it, and it was great. It's very simple but good fun and it came with loads of little pieces, like a bookcase and a little table and loads of missions and little card doors and things. And you had a board with loads of squares and rooms on it, but you set up the thing each time depending on what mission you were doing.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
I'm just looking at some videos on YouTube. There's a different football game out. It's not Sabutio. Maybe it's their version of Sabutio. It's called Soccero, I think it is. But the board has got squares on it, so...
Soccero?
I think it is, yeah. Soccero.
Oh, right, okay.
And it's got... Yeah, you have to put your players in squares. Ooh.
What is
so
this?
It's not actually flicking the game.
Oh, it's a board game, is it?
Yeah, it's a proper board game.
Oh, wow. Oh, well, that's the rest of my year sorted. This version is orientated towards kids and teenagers.
Yeah. The ones that obviously can't afford
us.
to play FIFA.
That's us, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, but can you get different teams though?
Yeah, because with Sabutio, you could go down to your local hobby store and buy Leeds United or Manchester United or Cheltenham.
That's right. Do you remember there was a big chart and it had loads of little Subbuteo players with all sorts of different kits.
Yes.
And then there was a number next to it. And then, so you found your team, and it would give you a number, and then you'd have to go and look at the chart and find what number it was. So, like, Millwall shared their kit with Gillingham and some other random blue and white teams.
That's right, yes.
But then some of the more famous teams, like Liverpool, Man United and things, would have their own one, and that would be them.
Well, I remember the Liverpool one had the 3 Adidas stripes on it. So you knew that it was the Liverpool kit.
Yeah, and you could get, like, away kits for some teams as well.
Yeah. So sad, really, isn't it? But it was brilliant.
I've given up not being sad years ago.
Yeah, I don't mean it like that, but with Subbuteo, you could buy stadiums for it, though.
Yeah,
people would buy stadiums for it,
and a special figure just to take throw-ins.
Yes.
And corners as well. There was like a little kicking thing, and you could buy referees and the dugouts with the little guys in it.
Yeah, and one of the
working floodlights.
Oh my God! Yes, it was around the time that Hornby were doing lights on trains and Scalextrics, weren't they? So,
that's right. Yeah.
But the frustrating thing on that was the goalie, because you had that stick that went through the back of the net.
That's right. It was impossible. If someone hit a decent shot, you can never save it unless it hit it by accident. And they always used to break, the goalkeepers.
Oh, you'd end up treading on them.
Yeah.
Any of them.
I always feel really guilty because when I was young, my stepdad gave me like loads of his old Subbuteo players, and they all got broken and things like that. But they must have been from the 60s or 70s and things that he'd obviously been keeping in the box, and I just ruined them. Whereas if you had them now, it's probably worth hundreds of pounds. Yeah,
that place where we there's the antiques place, they had Subbuteo in there. The thing about Subbuteo though is because it came in a box, you always had a crease on the pitch.
You remember the AstroTurf one?
No,
you could buy a pitch, and it was like that sort of plasticky foam stuff that didn't have that, so it just rolled up, and it was all lovely and perfectly flat, whatever you did.
That's for posh people.
I didn't have one. I had the crease one like you did.
I actually had little jumpers that I could put down for the goalposts instead. Tiny little Subbuteo jumpers. And my subs would have little jackets on as well.
In my day, my Subbuteo players didn't even have legs. It would just base.
But you'd be playing and you'd have that fucking crease in the middle, and it would be going down the centre as well. And
it would just roll off to one side or get trapped in it, depending on which way it went.
You'd be too young to use the iron, and you wouldn't want to ask your mum, can you iron the Subbuteo thing again, please? Because it just wouldn't work. You'd end up melting it.
Or if you did it yourself, you'd do it on the wrong side and melt the lines off.
Oh yeah. You'd have Subbuteo written backwards on your mum's iron, and then she'd be doing trousers.
Clothes, yeah.
You have Subbuteo written on your bottom on your school trousers.
Oh dear.
Flip it out. Well, if you've stuck with us for that, good luck to you.
Yeah, you loser.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for downloading.
You'd be just as sad as we are.
Yeah.
You could probably get another episode out of this.
Yeah, could do. I think you could do. Yeah. So, if you are still listening to this, go away. Go on. Scoot off. Bye bye.
Yeah. You've got something better to do.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
You need to have the luck to land on them.
Yeah.
But also, you need to know what you want going straight into it.
Because I am absolutely terrible at Monopoly.
Right, I'm playing you then.
But it's my own fault. Because being a South Londoner, I'll insist on getting the Old Kent Road. Because it's the only one south of the river.
Right. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's the only square south of the river. All the rest of them are north or central London or wherever.
Right.
But so I'll just keep going around until I've got it, and then I'll start playing properly.
Oh man, yeah.
So if somebody picks it up first when I'm playing, it's like, well, that's that finished then.
Yeah, we're going to have a Shonky Lab, not episode, but maybe just a gathering of people,
Yeah.
and we'll play Monopoly in a pub somewhere.
Yeah.
Take over a massive table and right, okay, here we go. Thank you very much.
Yeah. What were the pieces? There was I remember there was a car,
a dog, a top hat.
Yeah.
Oh, what else was it?
Because Danny Baker always says everyone in the whole universe that's ever played Monopoly has at some time tried on the top hat. Has put it on their head. You have, haven't you?
No.
Yes, you have.
No, why would I do that?
An iron, Jack Woodgate says.
Yeah, an iron, yeah. Oh, hang on, here we go. Car, boat, hat, iron, Scotty dog. That's from Pieman 70. What one would you normally choose, though?
I think I like the hat. The hat or the car.
Right, because there's Monopoly Empire. Have you played that?
No.
Okay, Monopoly Empire is you just trying to grab billboards of very popular products throughout the world. Like McDonald's and Mattel and Fender, Xbox, Panasonic, etc. And you have a little slate in the middle that you have to fill up with your billboards as you go around and collecting them. It's like grabbing the roads, but they are billboards. And the first one to the top of your slate is the winner. But there's lots of ways of bidding on them, and it's a nice interpretation of the game. It's just different enough, but also just familiar enough so you can just jump straight into it.
Right. I mean, if you're like a real dyed-in-the-wool socialist, Monopoly's not a very good game, is it? It's just all about money and advertising and consumerism.
Yeah,
it's not teaching.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Shonky Lab. I'm Elton, and this week I'm joined by guest producer, Mr. Lee Harvey.
Hello.
How are you, mate? You alright?
Not too bad. Okay, how are you?
I'm good. I'm stuffed. I'm still eating my food from Christmas. We got fucking shitloads, man.
Yeah?
Still got mince pies in the house.
Yeah, but they'll last for like a year.
Will they?
For months and months. They won't. They can't die.
Will they last until November, so I can eat them in November?
I'm going to say yes.
Like a warm-up to next Christmas.
But then there'll be loads available in the shops in November anyway, so it doesn't matter.
That's true, yeah.
Eat them now.
Oh, yeah. I just got to stop eating, man. Honestly, I feel, once again, I've been grazing for maybe a month of stuff. And it's not good. I need to do some star jumps or something.
Do you know what you could do with?
What?
Some scones.
What?
Some scones.
Actually, oh God. We're not going down that again. We're not doing that again.
Okay.
Well, I'm clearly not anyway, crying out loud.
Right.
So we're going to be talking about board games today. Now, there's no set agenda. I have nothing in front of me apart from an internet tab open on board games and images. and I think I'm just going to pick them through there because I've got a good relationship with board games. I don't know about you.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah. Because were you brought up on board games? Because I remember way back in the day when I was a wee nipper, before electronic games and pocket telephones were ever invented, I used to play board games quite a lot.
Yeah, I used to have loads. I played a lot of war games, so with miniatures and things, and still do. But there was a lot of them made into board games, things like Hero Quest and Space Crusade and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the usual ones like Monopoly and Game of Life and all that stuff. Yeah, always played games.
Yeah, and
always. We
used to do it on like a Sunday. There was a thing in our house. We would crack out a board game on a Sunday, sit round the dining room table.
Thing goes in the middle, and if you land on free parking, you get that, right?
Yeah, I didn't know this until about a year ago.
This is what I don't understand about Monopoly. So many people say that they played it at Christmas, or not this Christmas, but just generally, or with family, or whatever, and they always have arguments. How can you have arguments? You've got a book with the rules in it. There it is. It says do this. I don't understand. and like you say, well, I've only just found that out recently.
That's because it's been passed down to me. And this is how you play Monopoly. We all just sit on free parking going, okay, well, I'm not going to pay any bills here. Excellent. And nobody reads the rules. It's just word of mouth. And you naturally know how to play Monopoly because everyone's played it around you.
Yeah.
There's also, one thing I learned this year, you can bid when people don't want to buy a square. You can bid on them squares.
Yeah, I learned that, but again, never played it.
No, I've never done that. Never done it. And it was only after our monthly game of it seems, around here, that I learned that. So next time out, I'm going to be like, I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to bid on this thing. And you can bid from jail?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I'm sure you can.
Well, you've been doing it, obviously.
Well, I need something from jail, crying out loud.
Yeah, of course you have to be able to bid from there, because that's where you always are, isn't it? Stuck in jail. Do you think it's a dad thing? Do you think as soon as you've got kids that something in the universe shifts and chance will mean that you'll always go to jail if that chance is available?
I don't know, because my dad was awesome at Monopoly. And it was really frustrating. And he'd wipe the floor and clear up, and it would just be either my dad and my mum left, or me and my dad left, and it would just watch him just creaming all my money away, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll turn that mortgage that one, and he'd be like, thank you very much. And then there come that time where I just get so pissed off, be like, no, do you know what? That's it, you've won. Ta-da.
Because it's a long game. And there comes a point when you can see who's going to win, but you just got to sit there and slug it out, knowing full well that you're going to lose.
Yeah.
And keep going around the board, landing on the things, and while that winning person just collects a larger and larger stash of cash.
Yeah. My son is really good at it.
Yeah.
And he knows he's really good at it. And I know he's really good at it, and I want to flip the table every time he's really good at it.
Isn't it just luck, though, depending on when you land on the things? Or is there a skill at knowing which ones to buy when and things like that?
I think it's a case of what you buy.
Yeah.
And when. If you're going for a row of colours, after dinner is cleared away, turn the TV off, put the countdown on so we can listen to the countdown of the charts, and play board games like Cluedo and Monopoly and other ones that we had. So
cool.
I don't know if anyone else does that anymore. I suppose it's iPads now, isn't it? All the kids are just, it's an iPad, I'm going to play on that instead. And who can blame them? If I was their age and had an iPad, I'd probably be doing that as well.
I don't, maybe with kids, certainly. But loads more adults play board games these days. I mean, I'm actually involved with a board game club. In Southampton, there's a board game cafe, So it's just like a normal cafe with, food and drinks and whatever. But the shelves and the walls are packed full of different board games, and you pay £3 to go in, and just go and pick a game off the shelf and play whatever you want. And they're all the latest ones, not just the traditional old ones like you'll see Jenga or something like that in a pub.
Yeah,
these are proper, current release board games. Anything from the short little card games right up to the huge, complicated, massive board games, proper board games.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a go at that, actually. Just rocking up and playing like a 6-hour game. I think I'd love that.
You can do that. It's great.
That's one thing I've got to do then. Because I've played the long games. Everyone's played Monopoly, haven't they?
Yeah.
Should we start there with Monopoly?
Yeah, okay.
Because it's an easy one to get into, and there's lots of stories about playing Monopoly. I have a love-hate relationship with Monopoly.
In what way?
Well, I love playing Monopoly a week after I've played Monopoly, and maybe the hour building up to playing Monopoly. What do you mean,
like you're sort of lying awake a week later thinking, oh God, if only I'd bought Trafalgar Square, I could have...
No, I don't even, I hardly get the chance to build anything. I am utter guff at it. I'd like to get loads of friends and play that, because I am terrible, and I guarantee you I spend half my turn in jail. And it's just through sheer luck of landing on go to jail. I think the last time we played it, I just got out of jail, and then you go to a chance and pulled out, go directly to jail again. And it's just so fucking frustrating. And there's my kids just lapping out, and oh look, I'm collecting all this money, I'm collecting all that money, because there's certain other rules with it as well that some people do play and some people don't play. Like
the free parking.
Yeah.
So the money goes in the middle, all the fines, everything. You're good.
Not great.
Did you ever have any of the specialist ones?
Hang on a minute. Hang on. Where? There we go.
Should somebody be saying albatross now?
Yeah, someone should be saying albatross at the moment. Yeah, I think there's something wrong with the computer that's streaming it out to the Mixler people. Sorry about that, guys.
Of course, you get bloody wafers with it.
Yeah, that's right.
Carry on.
It'll probably go again. We had this problem a couple of recordings back. I don't know what's going on. I think I need a new computer. It's going again. Flip it around, man. Hang on a sec.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Shut your face.
You're listening to Man Plays with Technology.
That's all they're getting is just a clicking sound as I'm mucking around with a wire. Right, it's all back on. Sorry about that, Mixler people. If you do want to listen to me fart around with technology when you're not downloading this, why not pop along to mixler.com/road2media, and you could hear me crash and burn. It's absolutely fine and normally works really rather well. But for some reason, the computer I'm using to send it to Mixler has thrown a fit of some description. So fingers crossed that'll be all right from now on. It's on a 20-degree bank now with its power box holding the wire in. Oh Jesus, it's scary.
Is there going to be a just random massive crash followed by half a swear word and then silence?
Well, possibly, yes.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to have to take a photo of this, actually. Hang on. This would just be... I'll put this up in the Facebook group that we have. Right. Then you can see...
You know what you need?
Go on.
Duct tape.
Duct tape would work
just
really
duct
well.
Tape everywhere.
Hang on. Right. That's... Yeah, there we go. Right, I've taken a photo of it. I'll drop all that on there later. So, right, board games. Let's get back to board games.
Specialist monopolies. So, you'd have one for different... Well, there were different cities all over the world, weren't there? What was the first one? Atlanta. In America.
I don't know.
The original Monopoly was Atlanta, the original Monopoly was Atlanta in America.
Oh, was it?
Because I always thought for years it was London. That was it. It just had London. There was nothing else. But it was American.
I've got a what is it? A Australian board game, the Australian Monopoly. But
Okay.
It's still got Streets of London in it, but it's all in dollars, like Australian dollars.
Oh, that's weird.
It's quite cool though.
Yeah.
But it's from the 70s, I suppose. It was my dad's old one.
But